Hi.
Hello, we made it.
Oh my God, lots of effort, but very well worth
Technical
it.
difficulties. So I just posted on, hi Justin, how are you? I just posted on the Facebook business page that we'll be here. So we'll be
Okay.
able to save it here on the stories, post it on IGTV,
Right.
and then send it out to whomever. So thanks for
Yay.
with me, Stace. You're the first of many guests, so I'm happy to have you for Friday Lunch and Learn. Today we're going to be talking about Westchester real estate market, and Stacey is a Westchester expert. Stacey, how long have you been in the business for?
Well, first of all, thank you, Jessica, for having me on. I so appreciate it. And I'm super excited to be here to shed a little bit of light of what's going on in the market.
Yeah,
I've been in real estate for just about 16 years. And I grew up here. My office is in Armonk in Westchester County, but growing up here and knowing it has been super helpful and great for me to be able to relate to clients moving up, from New York City.
that's awesome. How are you adjusting to this new normal, quarantining from home and working from home?
Well, it's a little crazy for New York, like you, New York City, we're on pause, but watching our neighbor in Greenwich, being able to show homes, that's just a little bit frustrating because they're on our border.
Right.
And so that's kind of hard, but adjusting to the new norm, wearing masks where we need to, and trying to get people to at least do drive-bys and getting them around homes to see if maybe they do want to, take a peek when we're ready and willing.
Have you been doing virtual tours like we have been getting done in the city?
We've done a couple, and some people have, taken places sight unseen. But we're not really supposed to be going in unless the house is vacant and the sellers. So on a DM me later and I'll talk to you a little bit more about getting into some listings. But deals are happening. There are homes that are going into contract and closings are happening. So virtual closings, it's all being done.
Yeah,
Inspections.
I was actually going to ask you about the hold harmless agreement.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Now we've got a form to sign at least. So everybody signs that. Pre-approvals, I would say, would be your absolute number one priority because if they don't think you're serious, they don't want you near the house. I have a really nice questionnaire that I can share with you of questions that I ask, the other broker to tell me about their clients. If they're just coming up and they don't even know Westchester and they don't even know what town they want to land in, we just don't want to put our sellers in any harm. And we want to make sure that these buyers are really ready and willing to pull the trigger during this kind of crazy time period.
Awesome. Now, when people are moving to Westchester in these days with quarantining, are they looking for more acreage, pools? What are people looking for?
Well, since this happened, I've gotten a ton of phone calls. I would say 90% of my clientele is from New York City, buying in Westchester after they maybe have one or two kids. With what's going on right now, some of them are just jumping out just to get in a rental. So I think that when you're looking in terms of a rental, when inventory is so low, that's absolutely like, if they have a pool, that's awesome, but they're going to be very limited for that. But when they're really coming here looking for a home to raise a family, well, first of all, most people start with school district because they do want their kids to go to a public school system.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, of course, pool is a bonus. They do want land because they're leaving the great Big Apple and all the shopping and the food and, that all those great amenities to come up here. They want their kids to be able to really enjoy the land of the house. When people are coming up to Westchester, I'm finding the young families, now they want close to town. They want great Wi-Fi and they want an open floor plan. Which is totally what the young families want. They want to hear and see people and a lot of sunlight. But what's interesting now is that people are working so much from home that that open floor plan is kind of a little
Not
loud, a little bit not private. So I think maybe in some new construction going forward, there will be some barn doors or some sliders or something with an absolute separate office, because I think that from the people that I've spoken to, both husbands and wives, whoever's, they're both working, they feel comfortable now working remotely. They actually feel like it's okay to stay home or to work maybe one day a week, and that, it's feasible. And so
right.
that's changed the landscape a little bit now. Where normally, the first thing they ask me besides school district is, how far is this house from the train? What's my commute going to look like?
And now that people can work from home, or potentially a few days, like you said, they could be looking a little further distance from transportation, as perhaps they won't even go back to the office in the near future, or ever.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally, that's like been really the biggest change, I would say, because, even in certain towns, you always have a little bit of the outskirts where those houses are priced a little bit less. You get more for your money because you've got another 4 or 5 minutes on your daily commute. And now people are like, okay, I'll take it.
Are they changing their price point? So pre-COVID, current COVID, were they looking just for starter houses, and now somewhere where they can grow into? What price point? How many bedrooms?
Well, in a really rough estimate, okay, for my New York City or Brooklyn people that were moving up to Westchester, and that was their first home that they were buying, so it's a first time home buyer. And what they would do is they would take the amount they're spending in the city, right? Whether it was somewhere, I'm just throwing out a number, 5,000 to 7,000. What that translated into a mortgage up here, right, with the taxes and everything folded in, was an average about a 1.1 to a 1.3 house.
Right.
So $1.1 million to $1.3 million is our sweet spot. And that's where a lot of first-time home buyers were really, looking to get into. Anything under $1 million is, amazing. And last week we had 2 best and finals. So if that means that there was just so many people who wanted the house at the same time, and we ended up bidding over ask.
That's dang.
So, but then you've got the $3 million houses. That market, that luxury market, was kind of quiet for a little period of time.
Right.
And if I just pulled specifically for our monk schools, and in the last 30 days, I think we had, was it 5 or 6 homes that went into contract during COVID, $2 million to $3 million. So that's a high number. So I feel like, I don't necessarily know if it's people within the communities moving up into a bigger home because, the pricing is there and the mortgage rates are great, or if it's for the people.
That's so interesting. So are you finding people leaving the city and coming out to Westchester? Are they buying because they were going to buy in the next year or two and they decided now is a good time? Or are people trying out the neighborhood to see if it works for them, for their family, and perhaps putting an option to purchase? Or are you getting a mix of everything?
We're totally getting a mix. So my clients that I stay in close contact with who are in New York City, they always waver. They come back and forth a little bit. And, they, base it around their kids and their schools, and did they get into the private school or not? Do they wait another year?
Right.
And what happens is that when COVID happened, all the people that were on the fence, that fence came down and they jumped. They were ready, and because they were educated and they knew the towns in Westchester and the school districts, they were able to hone in.
Oh, I think we lost you, Stace.
I'm here, sorry. The problem is that there are so many people that called me and they're from Rockland County, they're from New Jersey or Long Island, and they don't know Westchester. And we start with this. I have a great marketing book for, that first welcome to Westchester. Where am I? The east side, the west side, water, close to the city, further out. So basically, people who have no knowledge of really where they want to be, they're just going to try, they're going to try to get into a rental. A rental with an option to buy is like not the most popular thing. It's like, what price do you figure that out and when?
Right.
But the rental market right now, both rental and sale market in Westchester, very, very, very low inventory.
So what was it like pre-COVID? Were sellers having a hard time selling their homes? Like out east in the Hamptons, a lot of high-end sellers were having a hard time. The market was on its way down. People were heavily reducing their prices. And then all of a sudden, this silver lining, not only did they not have to sell or want to sell, they got more money on rental, and they're being rented for a full year.
Right. I mean, it's bizarre. I mean, definitely the luxury market had quieted down. Okay.
Right.
No doubt about it. And that we consider that, high twos and up, 3 million and up in Westchester, basically. And then what happened was with COVID going on, I think that, people just, people were willing coming from the city to jump to such a big number because they got a lot of value. A lot of house, maybe a pool, a lot of land. But the issue also is that the people who are local, maybe they could buy that house now because they could sell their house super quick,
right,
and maybe for more money. And so, last week I was super lucky enough to, have people that I speak to on a daily basis, and they all said, we're not. We don't know where we're going to go, but I guess if there's ever a time, should we put our house on the market? And I'm like, absolutely. Yeah. There's no, very little inventory. And if you're going to test the market, if you want to try it, like, let's do it now. And so last week, I put on 3 new listings, which was really awesome. And we have gotten a lot of showings. So, those 3 were all, one was 1825, the other one was 199, and the other one was 2695.
And if you imagine what you can get for in New York City for those prices, it's worth for a lot of people, especially families who are expanding or need space, to go out to Westchester where their kids could be outside, get fresh air, and, have more of a childhood, so to speak.
Right.
So how have you personally been reevaluating your home as a potential owner, looking at the other side? Have you?
I would say the number one most fun thing about this is that my 3 teenage boys have come back to the nest. And we're normally in our business, I am up and out the door, and I come home late every single day, working and meeting with clients and in the office. And now being home, there's my son, one of them, spending a lot of time at home with my kids, which is great. But the cleaning and the feeding is really not my favorite thing, probably why I ran out to work a long time ago. But I am nowhere, of course, I'm not going to put my house on the market because this is my home base, and these are, where my roots are. But it has been a change for me, because I think what I realized, what's most important for me during this COVID time, was that I'm a people person and I need that human interaction. And so for me, this has made me appreciate and really understand how important it is to have that human contact. It brings such joy to me. And it really goes back to this job, right? This work, because all we do is work with people all day long.
Right.
And so I have families who are texting me at 9:30 on a Friday night, or even, 7:30 in the morning. And if I was up and I had my phone there, guess what? I picked up. I wanted to talk to someone new. I wanted to meet someone. I wanted to be able to educate them or help them. And so if people called me direct on whatever particular listing I had, I was because I was available, I got this chance to get new buyers.
Right.
So I was lucky enough, even though that specific call-in wasn't for that house, now they're on my team and on my side, and I'm going to help them find something. And it doesn't have to be, particularly exactly where they called on, but I picked up the phone because I was home and I had time. And then I heard, you know, in their voices, their angst and their like uncertainty is like, is school going to start? Are we going to have camp? And should I do a short term? Should I do a long term? And then, you know, what about the people who don't even know how to buy a house? You know, that's huge. That whole process. And, you know, I have a great booklet that I sent out to people. What's entailed in the process? What is it? What do the costs look like? You know, what really is buying a home about? And when you're in such a rush and a hurry, you know, to get what I would say, flee, you know, the city to see what's out there, they're not, you know, no one, people will take the call and say, oh, come see the house, you know, but I took the time to really educate them about the process, which I realized in the end is what is so special to me, because it's not about just selling a home. We're selling a lifestyle. We're selling, you know, just, we see these people, we have these relationships with them for, you know, really long time. So it's super important for me to make that connection. And during COVID, I realized that that is what drives me. And really, it's a huge, it is really our business, you know.
Interesting. I was on a Zoom call yesterday and the gentleman said, we're the only people that invite our clients who become our friends to our home for dinners, that we go out with, we go to their weddings and we socialize with. We really know intimately about people's lives. We're almost the first to know about births, deaths, moves. I can't tell you how many clients have called me and said they've broken up with their significant other. They need to move. I said, did you let them know you're moving?
Right.
Not yet.
Totally. Totally. I mean, I love going to the 30-year-old birthday parties, even the 40-year-olds. It's super fun. But that's the best part about it. I mean, if I had a birthday party every year, my invitation list would just be ginormous, because I take real estate to the heart and really love what I do.
Right. So have you found some of your clients have decided to renovate their homes as opposed to buying new ones or selling them instead? And if so, what have they changed or looked to change?
I think that mostly right now, if they're in their home already, and this, you know, with what went on with COVID, and some people did lose a lot of money, I don't find that they're having enough money right now just to do work. And a lot of the towns, you know, are not even allowing that. Like I know half my clients want to put pools in. Well, that's not happening, not this summer.
Right.
Go buy the inflatable one on Amazon. So I think that those people are really not doing work. The buyers that I'm getting, right, like you and the young, you know, millennials, they want a house that's done. They really don't want to do work. And which is hard for me, because I can really see value in a great house. It's really not that difficult to do some modifications if you have the cash.
Right.
Because they can buy more of a house and spend the money and put it in their mortgage, and the rates are so low that it's, why take your cash out to put, you know, open up your kitchen or your ceilings or, you know, finish a basement.
Right, if it's not needed.
Right.
So tell me, has your daily routine changed since COVID's happened? Or
I mean, again, you know, not being on the run. Right? Not like getting up in the morning, exercising and getting out. I love to play tennis, so that was gone. Yeah, that was kabach. I sing for an a cappella group to senior homes. So obviously the minute we got word that this, you know, COVID was around, they closed and we were not allowed to, you know, go into senior homes. So a lot of all that fun stuff that actually is so super related to work. You know, that's where I get my referrals from, and some of my clients, you know, I do those things with. So that not being around in my life, I've spent a lot more time at home doing the home things. But what's interesting is it makes you look at the home differently.
Right.
So whereas I was going to send one of my sons on a summer, you know, trip, which is not happening now. So I've got that money. So what do you do with that money? So there are certain things that you can look at. And now I look at my house so differently, my home. my home, I love it. It's beautiful. But if I could make an outdoor space that's a little bit more inviting or bigger so we can do more things together as a family, that's what I'm looking into. I'm spending way, a ton of time in, my office. So, let me vamp up my office a little bit.
Right.
So I think that a lot of people in their own homes, I think they're doing major decorating still. The inexpensive places, Wayfair and Overstock. I mean, I just got my kids, they came home from college and I heard them upstairs because my master's on the first floor. So the first thing I did was I went and got 2 awesome rugs. So I got new carpeting upstairs and they're all excited. But again, those things I didn't have time or even thought about in terms of, my home, because my home was a place where I slept, where I ate. But I think that during these COVID times, people are looking at their homes as their safe place, their comfort zone. So they're going to want the places that make them and their children feel great. I'm in awe, like the people that have children who are like 25 and even, to 30, and then they have kids, right? They live in the city and they're not ready to move, and they're back at their childhood homes with their parents and their siblings like you. I mean, how awesome is that, though? That's like once in a lifetime. I mean, and imagine if you were, had a little pumpkin running around, the grandparents. It's like a time that will just, hopefully, but will not, happen again in our lifetime. So I think that is just a beautiful thing, and we have to hold on to that.
Exactly. So what would you like people to know about the Westchester market? It was recently reported from the United Postal Service that most people in New York City, mainly including Upper West and Upper East Siders, have moved to big locations like out east, the Hamptons, Westchester, New Jersey, perhaps Florida and Miami. What about Westchester as the big draw as opposed to going out east to Long Island, Hamptons, or New Jersey?
Right. Well, the biggest thing I think so many of my clients come from Long Island. So they're, kind of the transplants here in Westchester. It's a very different animal. Perfect example is even looking at like the train hubs, right? Grand Central versus Penn Station. It's a nice commute. It's a quiet commute. Westchester has a ton to offer. They really up their game in shopping and restaurants and things like that. School districts are great. I just find that people don't always want to go home where they were raised. So now we're getting a lot of people from New Jersey and Long Island. And that's, they want to be here. Growing up as a kid, I went to Long Island every weekend to see my camp friends because I felt comfortable there and I loved it. I grew up in Armonk, in a small town, and I was very happy to go to the 5 towns and shop and eat there. So it's a really big difference now. I mean, we've got amazing stores and, even people Scarsdale is a great place to be, but now even people from Scarsdale are shopping a little bit more north because, we've got some really fun stores.
Nice.
Anyway, so Westchester always is going to be a great place to, to raise a family. The 2 things that I've seen that are just incredible is the amount of bike riding. I mean, the bike stores have lines out the door. You never saw a kid ride a bike. Every kid is on their bike all day as soon as it got warmer. I mean, it's unbelievable. And I think that's really great for the kids and for the parents. But one more thing about Westchester Real Estate, which is super important, because I get a call a day. And I think when I finally spoke to somebody and I told him my opinion, he's like, thank you for telling me that, because now I can stop. Like, you just told me what it was, and now I know what my plan is. Well, I don't have a crystal ball at all, but New York City people, I would say I get 5 calls a day, okay, for a rental I have on the market with a pool. Okay, we have leases out. It's going to be gone. And I don't want to click, leased on MLS because nobody's going to call me again. But I do get like 10 calls a day. and they say to me, oh, we just want a short-term rental. Everybody wants a short-term rental. You know, I'm not going to the Hamptons now, so I'm going to come up to Westchester or Connecticut, Greenwich, Westport, Weston. So what do you have? This.
Yeah.
You've got zero. And the prices are totally inflated. So a quick piece of information, okay? Don't look on Zillow every day. Don't make yourself crazy. Call one broker who will have your back,
right,
and who will look for you and tell you like it is and make you or encourage you to react then. Sight unseen, know the story. Don't waste your time searching the internet. Hours and hours. Half of it's gone. It was gone the day it came on. And so that's my number one piece of advice. You need somebody who's knowledgeable, who will take care of you,
right.
You know? And the rentals, if you are wondering, in Westchester right now, when they do come on, we're talking about crazy numbers, like $30,000 a month if a house has a pool. I just did one in Greenwich. We did $47,000 a month.
Oh.
And so these numbers are crazy. And when something comes on, this morning I looked for an awesome family, and I think one came on not even an hour before. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning, and they were asking $38,000. They already had sight unseen, full price offer. And I said, you know, what can I do to get the house? You know, whatever it takes, I will get you a house. We gotta find the funds. But the bottom line is that they're going over crazy ask in bidding wars. I mean, it's pretty beyond words. So if you are from New York City or Brooklyn and you're thinking about, you know, you can look on VRB, you know, Airbnb and things like that if you want on your own. But just call around from the computer on Zillow and everything. Do not waste your time.
Yeah.
Don't. It'll make you crazy.
Do you think it'll be like this for the next year and a half? What are your predictions?
Well, I kind of feel like, you know, we were doing great in January. We had teed up a great first quarter. And again, people always want to come to the suburbs. So for sure, I think I'm a glass half full kind of girl. So COVID or no COVID, masks or no masks, people want to move to the suburbs. And we just need to get a little bit more inventory. If we keep the inventory this low, we're going to have this flurry of, you know, kind of price increasing. But if we can get some more inventory on in the next 2 months, we should be good. We should get back to, you know, more of a stable, you know, market. I mean, you asked me, like, is it a buyer's market or seller's market? Well, right now it's, you know, a seller's market if the house is priced right.
Right.
You know, you can have a house that's not priced right, and guess what? It just sits there.
Right.
But if it comes on and people think there's value in there, that same day you've got multiple bids, which is, you know, it's kind of crazy, but goes back to be pre-approved, you know, get your letter, because that makes a difference, you know, that really does.
Well, to your point, sorry to interrupt, I think that's the message for all of real estate. If you're priced right, ready to go in any market, you could have been priced at $1 yesterday. If it's not the current market value, you've got to really, you know, adjust to what's going on. For example, pre-COVID, your sellers probably were looking for a different price from what they're looking for now, and we'll get a different. Kind of got to be fluid and price it to the market.
I mean, so we do have some bottom feeders. I mean, we do have people who just they're not educated. Maybe they don't have a broker, a buyer's broker, but they'll throw an offer in. If it's $1 million, they'll throw in an $800,000 offer. As real estate brokers now, we call that a COVID offer. You know, it's just not real. So for people who do think that right now is the time to get a good deal on a price of a house, it's just it's not how it's playing out in Westchester.
Right. I think it depends what market, not Westchester, but perhaps in New York City.
Yes.
I
have 2 friends moving next month into the city, and you know, they're scared. They're really scared. But exactly. So there's always going to, New York City is New York City. Everybody loves it. And it's going to bounce back. And it'll even, you know, when everyone comes to Westchester or Long Island, we've got, you know, all the kids who are graduating college and the parents, now, they were all ready to, do that turn and get back to the city. And that'll always happen. It comes full circle.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to offer in New York City when we start to reopen and open again. You've got Broadway shows, you've got restaurants and bars, albeit it'll be a different way of socializing. Perhaps you'll have to sit every other row, every third seat or so. It'll be a different way to enjoy it, but it'll come back at some point in time.
How do you like being at home?
Feels like being back in high school.
It's great. Clean out your old bedroom.
Exactly. But what's great, we have fresh air. I'm able to go bike riding.
Right.
I'm able to get outside, knock on wood. So I haven't been in vertical living, which is nice. And we're able to drive to the grocery store. We don't have to wait online to get in. So if you have to quarantine anywhere, can't complain.
Right. That's great. I did see a picture the other day of East 82nd Street, and it was packed, totally packed. So I think the people of the city, are just happy to get out and take a walk in this great weather, and it'll just benefit. The weather is what's going to help, all of us kind of get through this.
I think so. People are getting a little stir crazy. I actually helped clients open up a soft serve company in the Lower East Side, and they closed right as COVID happened because they were only open 2 weeks, and they're trying to figure out how to best serve their clients. It's hard to make it to go, but I think nice weather, small luxuries will go a long way, and people will want to be out, get the soft serve ice cream, walk around downtown, and enjoy just being outside. And I think they're really going to do well in this time.
Right.
So everyone, questions for us, feel free to send it into the comments. I think Stacey's kind of fully addressed the Westchester market. And if you have any questions about the New York City market, I would be happy to answer any.
For sure.
But how should people get in touch with you if they're looking to rent or buy or sell?
Reach out to me at SLS Homes on Instagram or on Facebook under Stacey Sporn. Reach out to you, to Jessica, and I'm happy to help in any way. When do you guys go back for the city? Have they said anything yet?
We're not sure. We're not even at phase 1 yet. You have to fit that criteria, and I don't think they've reached anywhere near there. Sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 4.
All right, well, if we open up before you, come over, and we'll have a great lunch together, and we can catch up.
I would love to. So,
thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, this was great. For those of you who haven't seen this live, it's going to be in my stories for the next 24 hours, and then it'll be moved over to IGTV and stay tags, and I'm sure should be happy to help you and your needs in Westchester.
Thanks so much, Jessica. Stay healthy. I'll see you soon.
Be well.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks for coming.